Welcome to my creative writing channel. I am Ella and I like to use creative analysis to help you tell your story. Let's get back to Rime of the Ancient Mariner. It's been a few days. So part 5. O sleep, it is a gentle thing, beloved from pole to pole. To Mary Queen the praise be given. She sent the gentle sleep from heaven that slid into my soul. So I'm going to do the poem a little differently from here on out and pause at the parts that I find to be relevant to the overall themes that we're discussing. And right here, I want to emphasize the importance of sleep as an aspect of nature that restores one's soul. And he gives thanks to the Virgin Mary here for that. Like, that's how holy it is. And so we can go out in nature and find rest and restore our souls and maybe even heal from trauma or disease. Or in this case, we can actually rest, take rest for ourselves, and that in itself becomes an aspect of nature, and one that I would argue all human beings, especially in this day and age, need to take advantage of. So, self-care, get your rest. All right, moving on. The silly buckets on the deck that had so long remained, I dreamt that they were filled with dew, and when I awoke, it rained. My lips were wet, my throat was cold, my garments all were dank. Sure, I had drunken in my dreams, and still my body drank. So there, again, another aspect of the restorative aspect of nature is rain, just water in itself. And are you drinking enough water? And if not, maybe there's rain on the way. But he is able to, well, we'll see. We'll see what is the restorative aspect of the nature element of water, the natural element of water. We're about to see. I moved and could not feel my limbs. I was so light. Almost I thought that I had died in sleep and was a blessed ghost. And soon I heard a roaring wind. It did not come anear, but with its sound it shook the sails that were so thin and sere. The upper air burst into life, and 100 fire flags sheen. To and from they were hurried about, and to and from and in and out the wan stars danced between. And the coming wind did roar more loud, and the sails did sigh like sedge, and the rain poured down from one black cloud. The moon was at its edge. The thick black cloud was cleft, and still the moon was at its side. Like water shot from some high crag, the lightning fell with never a jag, a river steep and wide. So there's movement here. There's the sounds of wind. That's an aspect of nature. It's bringing, the wind is bringing the rain clouds in. The loud wind never reached the ship, yet now the ship moved on. Beneath the lightning and the moon, the dead men gave a groan. They groaned, they stirred, they all uprose, nor spake nor moved their eyes. It had been strange, even in a dream, to have seen those dead men rise. The helmsman steered, the ship moved on, yet never a breeze up blew. The mariners all again worked the ropes, where they were wont to do. They raised their limbs, like lifeless tools. We were a ghastly crew. The body of my brother's son stood by me, knee to knee. The body and I pulled at one rope, but he said naught to me. So here is a restorative aspect of the rain that's coming. It has literally brought the dead crew to life to steer the ship. It seems that it wasn't the actual wind that reached the ship, but there was an unseen element of the water underneath that begins to move the ship along, raises the dead. It brings family members back together. So again, don't underestimate the power of nature to heal oneself. Okay, now we return to the frame. Remember, the Rime of the Ancient Mariner is not just a ghost story that a surviving sailor comes home to tell. He chooses someone who is on his way to a wedding, who is about to celebrate, and this person's life will never be the same after hearing the story. And there are many times when he does not want to know what happens next because the story is, I mean, it's a ghost story. It's scary. But the mariner reassures him each time, as we will see. I fear thee, ancient mariner. Be calm, my wedding guest. 'Twas not those souls that fled in pain, which to their courses came again, but a troop of spirits blessed. For when it dawned, they dropped their arms and clustered round the mast. Sweet sounds rose slowly through their mouths and from their bodies passed. Around and round flew each sweet sound, then darted to the sun. Slowly the sounds came back again, now mixed, now one by one. Sometimes, a dropping from the sky, I heard the skylark sing. Sometimes all little birds that are, how they seem to fill the sea and air with their sweet jargoning. And now 'twas like all instruments, now like a lonely flute. And now it is an angel's song that makes the heavens be mute. It ceased, yet still the sails made on. Okay, backing up. So we have rest, we have water, we have air, movement, resurrection even, and then we have music. So finally, there is a celebration. These musical notes, the elements of nature, which he refers to as, he's talking about the birds singing, but then also there seems to be this entire symphony going on just in the sky, like in the ethers. So we're going to see that have its own restorative aspect too. So there's this element of, well, there's the music of nature that we get from the birds, and then there's the music of instruments that seems to come from heaven. But we know that to be, from our human experience, something that is man-made. However, I'm going to argue here that it's just as natural as the birds singing, that we so much depends upon a wooden violin or a flute. It ceased, yet still the sails made on, a pleasant noise till noon, a noise like of a hidden brook in the leafy month of June, that to the sleeping woods all night singeth a quiet tune. Oh, okay, so we have layers here. We have the layer of a pleasant noise, and then he compares that to a brook, so the moving water. So there's even an element of music in the water, in the sleeping woods. So even the woods get to rest here. Love Coleridge. Till noon we quietly sailed on, yet never a breeze did breathe. Slowly and smoothly went the ship, moved onward from beneath. Under the keel 9 fathom deep, from the land of mist and snow, the spirit slid, and it was he that made the ship to go. The sails at noon left off their tune, and the ship stood still also. So everything has come to rest again. There seems to be no sounds, like there's a rustle in the sails when the wind got it going, but there's the water is moving. So there's some unseen spirit moving everything right now. The sun, right up above the mast, had fixed her to the ocean, but in a minute she 'gan stir with a short uneasy motion. Backwards and forwards half her length with a short uneasy motion. Then, like a pawing horse let go, she made a sudden bound. It flung the blood into my head, and I fell down in a swoon. How long in that same fit I lay, I have not to declare, but ere my living life returned, I heard, and in my soul discerned, two voices in the air. Is it he, quoth one? Is this the man? By him who died on cross, with his cruel bow he laid full low the harmless albatross. The spirit who bideth by him himself, the spirit who bideth by himself in the land of mist and snow, he loved the bird that loved the man who shot him with his bow. The other was a softer voice, as soft as honey dew. Quoth he, the man hath penance done, and penance more will do. So there seems to be an unseen spirit moving the ship forward, and now it has embodied in two unknown characters who are maybe not, well, one, like, they're both kind of passing judgment on him. One to say, what would possess a man to do this senseless act of violence? And the other one to say, yes, it was he, and there's more punishment to come. Poor Mariner, right? Well, in the next video, we're going to look at part 6, and let me know if you like the new format. I feel like it's more effective to move the story along in this manner. Also, I think I would like to, just in general, take this approach when looking at other works of literature, including your own, if you ever want to let those be known to me. The purpose of the channel is storytelling, so it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're a writer. Maybe you just are a very gregarious person and you like to talk and you like to socialize, and I just cannot emphasize well enough how important telling stories is to our culture and our survival, because this is how it was done in indigenous populations before people had writing, which writing developed really as a result of people having conflict, so things went wrong, we had to write it down to make a record of it so that it got fixed somehow so that we could come back to it, or so there is an element still of, well, maybe you're not a writer, maybe you're not putting pen to paper, but I hope you will. I hope you will get a composition book. They're like $1, and a pen, and every day sit down to write something. And I hope that it includes aspects of nature, that there's something to return to, or aspects of gratitude, that even in the most mundane everyday objects, you can find something to be grateful for on this earth and share it with the rest of us. Thank you.